It's February of 2011. I go to pick up my kids from school. Their father got there first, took them out of school, took them home, and refused to give them back. This is kidnapping. This is what's called interference of custody. This is a felony crime, okay? The false allegation that led to this was that he claims that I had left the children home on Saturday, the previous Saturday, to go to work, and I had a sitter who was there and who was someone that the guardian ad litem, Johnny Lynn Franks, decided she didn't like her. And I know because I got her a job at that law firm. Terry Nell Lyons was her law partner and was my divorce attorney at that time. So that's why my divorce didn't get filed properly, because they didn't take the steps to do their job with the courts. This is not uncommon. This is apparently a reoccurring trend and theme, and why I want to raise awareness for family court fraud. So yeah, he takes the kids, he kidnaps them. I'm going through, postpartum recovery. I just had a child the previous October, so I'm super busy. I'm breastfeeding, I'm going to college, I'm working, I'm trying to make ends meet, I'm not getting child support. It was a mess. His attorney was Stansel. I believe his first name is Jim Stansel, who has passed away since this all went down. So Stansel keeps just filing nonsense, all this stuff. So of course I run and hire an attorney, get an attorney on it. We don't even get a hearing till like May. So I'm denied due process of law, which means you can't restrict or alter a custody of a parent without due process of law. And it gets messy. I'm ordered to go see Angel Geisky, court-ordered counselor with Johnny Franks. And let me tell you what, I don't trust that woman. I didn't trust her then, and I refused to go see her counselor. I went to another counselor who was someone that was credible, and they gave me an excellent psychological assessment and stated that other than a little occasional anxiety, which is understandable, I have no type of mental health issues of any kind. So my first husband, Chip Wicker, Florence, Alabama, kidnapped my children. And Johnny Lynn Franks lied to the courts and said I left them home without a sitter. My oldest daughter was 12. The Alabama legal age to watch children is 12. But didn't matter, because she just decided to keep my children from me without just cause. And now this escalates, guys, and drags on for 5 total years with only one short hearing in May, where I was kicked out of the courtroom because my youngest child was with me and she was crying. And so this was absolutely absurd. And what happens next is absolutely nuts. So I'm an innocent mom. I'm fighting to take care of my youngest child. Her dad decides to go against me for custody at the same exact time that this case is dragging on for 5 years. So now I'm going against 2 dads in 2 counties, right? So that county I never lived in. I'd moved up to Madison County to protect myself with my youngest child with me. And I was court-ordered supervised visitation. So I went back and I drove back to Florence, and I never missed a visitation. I never went more than 2 weeks without seeing my kids, and that lasted for 2 straight years. I had to pay $35 an hour just to have time with my kids. So I had full custody of my youngest daughter, sole custody. Her father wasn't involved in any way. So her dad files papers in Morgan County to take custody, and I never lived in Morgan County. There was no jurisdiction in Morgan County. His attorney files it, the judge approves it. The judge doesn't have jurisdiction. So the judge decided at that point she didn't like me, and then I've got this shitty attorney, Johnny Franks, over in Lauderdale County, where he's in hell making my life difficult. So Johnny Franks starts helping the judge, and the judge is like telling Johnny Franks what to do. It's a mess. Okay, so let's fast forward to when I finally have to go and represent myself. Yes, I had to represent myself. Every attorney that I hired tapped out. We're going to count them up to 11 total attorneys that tapped out on my cases, took my money, and withdrew and refused to help. Now, some helped by giving me my case files and information and advice, and I won't say who, because I appreciate those people for what little they could do. But the obvious equation was that I had a biased judge, and a biased judge is a big red flag. No attorney wants to get wrapped up in a case where there's a biased judge involved, because it's a losing battle. right? And I didn't have as much money to pay as my ex-husband, who very well could have put double the money into these attorneys' pockets to quit. That very well could have happened, because it is a money game when you fight the legal system. It's a true money game. So in 2016, I had to represent myself as my own trial attorney for 2 full custody battles, first in Morgan County, and then a month or 2 later it was Lauderdale County. And I don't have to tell you how that outcome went, because no one gives any consideration to what's called a pro se litigant who represents themselves. They don't get any kind of consideration in the court. They're basically looked at as a fool. But I had no choice. The judges ordered me to do this. They didn't give me the option. I tried to get an attorney and I couldn't because of the judicial misconduct that was going on. So Lauderdale County decided to condense it to a juvenile and custodial all mixed together. So as I was saying, the juvenile case was condensed to the custody case, which is not allowed. You're not allowed to use the juvenile court. And my children didn't qualify. They weren't dependents of the state. And I had not abandoned them. There was a court order that refused to allow me to have anything but supervised visits. And then they cut that off too for no good reason, because I refused to see the fraud counselor, Angel Geiske. That's why they cut off my visitation after 2 years. I couldn't even have supervised visitation with my kids at that point, which was devastating. So it was the outcome of the Lauderdale County case. I lost my parental rights to all 3 of my oldest children. I cannot legally be their mother based on this BS nonsense and fraud. It's based on fraud, guys. Anytime a judgment is made based on fraud, it can be voided at any time, right? It should be voided. It's absolutely stupid because it's based on fraud. And, you know, Johnny Lynn Franks is a horrible, horrible woman who's done awful things. And I don't have to tell you, if you're watching this, you're following me, you're following my channel, and you know her personally, you probably already know exactly what I'm talking about, the kind of person that she is. And you know, it's unfortunate because she has a lot of power over families and lives and the people that she represents. She usually goes for whoever pays her more, and she likes to give innocent children to abusive parents. That's what she's known for. Whoever the abuser is, she tends to give the children to that person. So you tell me what you think about the psychological well-being of someone that does that to innocent children. It's sad. Morgan County case, I lost full custody of my daughter and was given non-custodial time every other weekend and Tuesdays of my youngest child, who was frequently mistreated by her father, ongoing since that time frame. And there's countless reports of me filing protection orders and trying to protect my daughter, and, you know, telling the judge what she's reported to me that's been going on, and nothing was done about it because a judge in Morgan County, a female judge, decided in 2014 she didn't like me. That's why. Everybody wants to know my story and talk about me and gossip. Oh, she lost her kids. She must be a crackhead, hooker, terrible person. No, guys. Actually, I'm quite reclusive. I socialize for the sake of building and promoting my own business and personal training, because I believe we need more women trainers out there that help other women to feel good, stay strong mentally and physically.